It has been 6 months since Silksong was released. I remember back then that I was so excited for this game because Hollow Knight is already one of my favorite games of all time, so there was no way the sequel could be bad. But little did I knew that it would take me almost half a year to finish it. All I can say right now is that I was not prepared for the pain I would have to overcome in this game. Anyway, without further ado, this is my first playthrough and my thoughts on Hollow Knight Silksong. Well, here we are. After so much time, we will finally be able to play as Hornet. She's right now being abducted to a distant kingdom called Farlung. Don't you worry though, she's able to break free. But she's kinda screwed, isn't she? Well, it doesn't matter, cause here the game finally begins. In this beautiful moss area full of cute enemies that are no threat to me. Oh, hello little guy. Now, the game is pretty similar to its predecessor, so it was no problem for me to get used to the game. Yet, there are some new mechanics, such as the new ability to grab on ledges, and also the pogo, which this time hits diagonal. But it seems like Hornet is at a really weak state since she doesn't have a lot of abilities she did had back then in Hollow Knight. Anyway, after resting on a bench, I faced my first boss and managed to easily defeat her. No, who am I kidding? It was more like a stomp. I don't know if it was because of my great skills from Hollow Knight or if this boss is a joke. I'm guessing the second option, but it was quite fun, especially chaining attacks with the new pogo. But you can expect that things are going to be way harder from now on. Soon after I met this old lady, she told me that all Farlung was cursed somehow, and if I wanted to discover the origins of this curse, I would have to reach the citadel at the top of this kingdom. So with that said, here's where our journey truly begins. I wonder though, what's down there? Oh no, kidding me, no, please. Oh no, oh, Chinchurri, really? Yeah, that was a big waste of time. Going back all the way, I arrived at Bomb Bottom, which is a camp full of pilgrims who also wanted to reach the citadel. One of them is Sherma. He's just a chill guy and a friend who we are going to see a lot in the way. He's also a nice singer. Abi do ba bi ba de, obi ba ba do mi be. I'm clearly not. After that, I reached the first Rio area, which is a piece of cut content from the first game. Really cool, isn't it? No, it isn't, cause this place is very hot. Sorry, that was probably one of the worst jokes of all time. Well, there is lava, there's ash, there's bones. The enemies here are actual enemies despite being simple. Here I also completed some platforming challenges and got my first two, which grants me an achievement, but I'm not looking for 100% completion today. Anyway, in this area I also met the Fleet Troop. They asked me to find their lost members, and they will give me a reward for each one I save. Sounds like a good deal, cause why else I would help fleas. And at last I met Chakra. She is the corner for this game, which means thanks to her maps, navigating the world becomes much easier. Because of that, I was able to find my first Silk ability in the game. The attack is actually really cool cause Hornet uses it in Hollow Knight against us. So using the Silk Spear I was able to reach the next boss. This is a great fight unlike the first one and it's really fun to face. The boss crosses all the arena and drops a lot of bells dealing 2 masks of damage and making me die for the first time. Here you go, my deathless speedrun. Doesn't matter cause I've beaten it in my second attempt. But it turns out this horse bug is actually friendly and can be used as fast travel between the bell stations, which is going to be a great help. So the next step in my journey was reaching a factory again covered in lava. Now, after exploring a lot of this place, finding a big blacksmith, storing a working inside a chest and blowing myself in the lava, I noticed that the scenery started to turn greener, creating a very beautiful transition between different areas. That's one of the best parts of the game actually. I then achieve a new ability which allows me to dash and run, which is more satisfying than it looks. It's like I'm dancing. Why is this funny, man? Now you can call me Turbo, the fastest bug out there. Back to Silksong. Using my great speed, I was able to reach new areas, and one of those was about to almost make me cry. Hunter's March. Why am I saying the name of this area with such anger? Just take a look at this. I think that explains it well enough. Though this place was very difficult, I can't deny that it was a great and well thought platforming challenge, and I wouldn't remove it from the game. But it definitely was frustrating. Oh man.
Really? Wow.
There were also some good parts here. I got into a fight together with the map lady, which was enjoyable. I gathered many new items and eventually managed to leave this cursed land. Now I decided to head to the opposite direction of this place, so I ran into Lace. She's kind of Hornet's rival throughout the game. She's like a child with an annoying personality, and I mean it. She also loves to fight, and here's where I face her as a boss for the first time. She has the best and most varied moveset so far, using a lot of attacks, stabs, slashes, and parries that she does all the time. With that said, I was able to defeat her in my first try. Oh, that's only it? Yeah, run like a coward, you bastard. I'll kick your ass again eventually. Then after that, I've crafted a glider with this dress maker right here, which was really tedious. Anyway, this new dress of Hornet allows her to catch the wind and glide, and that makes her really goofy, and I love it. However, something surprising happened. Or not that surprising. I knew it was a boss fight actually, but it's quite cool. This thing right here is one of my favorite bosses in the game. It has 4 arms and swipes all over the arena, breaks the floor. Dodging and attacking the weak point is very satisfying, and it's also the first background boss in the game. But it was not that hard. It doesn't matter cause with the glider I could now ride the wind and explore higher locations. And after climbing a lot, I've reached the area that seems to be the center of the map, because it's connected to almost every single other area. Here we have some regular bug enemies, some of them with scissors and others with forks. Plus there's a lot of birds that are hard to hit because they fly around and keep sniping you. Thankfully nearby I find a bar where you can drink beer to heal and forget all the bullshit I've said. But here also I met this thing, which, well, dude, where are you? Then, after a few more hours of exploration, I've gathered a lot of new abilities, such as a Silk Whip that Hornet also uses in Hollow Knight, and it's really strong. But definitely the coolest thing I found was a new crest for Hornet, which completely changes all her attacks. This one is the Reaper, which is like a sight that deals high damage and helps you charge more silk per hit. All of that doesn't even matter because it has something much better. Wait, I can finally pogo downwards. That changes everything. With my new set of skills, I absolutely demolished every single enemy in my way. I then reached Bellheart, which seems like it was supposed to be the main hub of this game, but something didn't seem right. Damn, that's creepy. All the bugs who lived there were trapped in webs. I guess this is the curse that the old lady was talking about earlier. Wait, that's why most enemies have a silk rope when they fight me. Wow, I've only realized that while recording this video. Still, I had to find a way to free them. In order to do that, I went to the area right after the city. It's like a forest full of weird plants and some little explorer bugs. There is a lot of parkour challenges in here, just like the Hunter's March, but this time I could bounce attacking downwards, and the simple fact made everything way easier. But the next boss was a whole different story. It's Master Splinter's sister. Okay, despite having few attacks, mostly punching the ground and limiting the area that you can move with spikes, she was the hardest boss so far, killing me like 10 times maybe. That's because this lady also summons minions to help her, and they are the real difficulty in the fight. But once you learn it, it's a fine fight. The reward for killing her is also really good, since now I have the ability to climb walls, which gives me more freedom and new places to explore. After that, I've decided to take a break from the main path since I had barely explored the world at all. I then took my time to get another mask and another silk slot, plus some new tools that I've forgotten to use. I also start doing some side quests from the boards. They are pretty boring, but my nightmares were not over yet since I decided to face some of the two hardest areas in the game back to back. First, I went to Sinner's Road. It's a swamp full of parasites and worms that literally enter inside hornets. There is also annoying enemies, spikes everywhere, and deadly platforms. The place is so trash that even the bench doesn't work. Come on. After like an hour exploring everything, I gained nothing and only managed to lose 60 minutes because I couldn't pass through this fog. So I decided to go to the second most pleasant area in the game, Wormways. And guess what? There's a lot of worms here, and the place is extremely tight. It's hard to move around, and well, my reward here was this guy selling blue drugs. Awesome! But once I finished the area, everything was worth it because I found the best thing I could. Wanderer's Crest. Wait, this is the same moveset as in Hollow Knight. Okay, this is going to be the one I will use to the rest of the game. I don't care. Now, after that, I felt ready to face the Curse of Belheart. Climbing to the top of the city to find out the one responsible for all of this. This one looks scarred. This spider is the fastest boss so far. It has multiple attacks that deals 2 masks of damage. She uses webs to pull bells from the ceiling that comes from all directions. She also have a charge attack that's a bit crazy, but I like it. First try, really? Nice. Oh. Oh, come on. Turns out she actually has 2 faces, but the only difference is that she gets faster in the second one and throws more bells. Eventually I managed to defeat her. Now I got it, right? Yeah, this is probably the best boss so far. I then obtained the needling ability, which allows me to play music on Hornet's Needle. This makes absolutely no sense, but it's used to open spider doors or play in a band or something like that with other characters. For killing her, I managed to save the city and those who live in there, gaining a needle damage upgrade and more side quests too. But I was not feeling it, so I decided to continue on the main path, heading to Blasted Steps, where I met Lace again. She says it would suck to find on that terrain, so she just leaves. And she was right, the terrain is actually brutal. But without a doubt, the hardest thing here is the gambling. So after a lot of pain, I finally arrived at the gates of the Citadel. My objective was at reach. So I started to play a song alongside with my friends to finally open the gate to the Citadel. This is definitely one of the best bosses in the game. She uses a ball on a chain that causes explosions and fire blasts. Her attacks are very fun to dodge, and even though she deals 2 masks of damage, she's fair. She only killed me like 5 times. So that was great, but what wasn't great is the fact that, well, in my last attempt, I did this. Last judge, you killed my friends in battle. Friends that I've just met. But I'm angry, and I want revenge. You will not see the light of another day. I will defeat you and prove myself worthy of reaching the Citadel. Oh, I'm a terrible actor. Friends, I finally done. Now let me turn back, cause standing still in front of an explosion is badass. So, forget this terrible acting. I was finally able to enter the Citadel, reaching the second act of this game. Have I already said that this game is beautiful? Cause, yeah, it's definitely one of the most gorgeous looking games I've ever played. Anyway, after all I did here in the entire game, I was finally at the Citadel. It's fair to say that this place seems like a total different map, since it's probably the biggest location in the entire game. Still, for some reason, it was way faster than the first act. Maybe I was getting better at it, or I was just playing this game for an unhealthy amount of time. For now, I tried to use the elevator, but it broke, and I tried to fix it. I'm an engineer after all. Oh god. So I fell to the lower part of the Citadel, which is like a factory that keeps everything above running. It's a very dark and dusty area, but it's fun to explore. Crawling through this place, I managed to reach the main part of the city with a banger soundtrack and probably the greatest vibe in the game. First, I love the fact that the city is actually based on sound and music. All the architecture is built with that in mind. Everything works because of music and for the music. Even the society is based on that, and it's such a great world building. Really awesome. So, that's why the game is called Silksong. The city is based on song and it's now corrupted by silk. That's my favorite detail in the entire game, and I felt like a genius after figuring that out. Now back to the speedrun. After a bit of challenge, I reached the first boss of this region. This is a dual boss fight, which is usually bad, but here they nailed it. Even though it's an easy and simple boss, that's a good thing. It's not frustrating and never feels unfair. I really like how they always telegraph their attacks, literally turning the fight into a dance. I'm then given a new objective: find 3 melodies around the Citadel. The coolest part here is that the game lets you tackle them in any order you want, so I decided to first head to the one in the far right. I passed through a clock area with even more saws and spikes and also robot bugs, which is something that I never thought I would want to see in Hollow Knight, but here we are. They are a nice addition to the game. Soon after, I descend into the city's vault, which is actually used for storing music, and that just makes sense. This area is almost like a puzzle where you have to push these blocks in order to get through. Eventually I am able to do that and reach one of the most iconic bosses in the game. This is Strobel, who for some reason is named after his voice actor. He's just a tier master who wants to put on a show, but I'm sure he has something to do with green. Right after defeating him, I got through another lava pool, which is probably used for energizing the factory from before. Here then I obtain a hook that lets me grab into chains, and also it works like a second dash that can be chained into attacks. What am I hooking at? This makes no sense. Still, with that I was able to collect the necessary item and deliver it to a worm that teaches me the melody I've needed, so that's the first. 2 remains. At the opposite side of the Citadel then, I went looking for the second melody. Here I faced spinning wheels and a lot of spikes with Beamasters as well. Despite being very difficult, it was a great parkour trial. What wasn't great, it was the last challenge in this place. This little arena right here is the hardest thing in the entire game. No boss was even a match to this. I have screwed everything, come on. When it's going to stop, man? 2 of them? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Alright, let's calm down a little. Oh, let's go, finally. Man, you don't know how much time I was in here. And now then, I was able to get the second melody. So there's only one more left. But for the last one, seems like I needed some kind of new ability. My adventures then led me to a really cool snow area, which this time is actually cold. Here the entire place was a platforming challenge that I could not stay for too much time in the open, otherwise I would freeze and die. Still, I really enjoyed this area, and after completing it, Hornet hugged the giant bird, cause it seems like she loves fluffy things, and so do I. I finally obtained the double jump ability though. I was waiting this one for too long. So I was able to pass through the high part of the clock core to yet another platforming challenge. I'm getting sick of it. But now there's saws that deals 2 times damage, and it's just like the path of pain. Alright, nobody told me that I will have PTSD here. Thankfully this area has the best music in the game, because all clock areas do, so it was not that bad. Anyway, after cleaning it out and aligning some drawings, I was finally able to collect the last melody and could now unlock the final elevator. But first, a little warm up. No, not like that! I got through the fog area and fought the Phantom. who gave me a lot of trouble, but I was able to get rid of her, and it was epic. And now I was ready to finish the game. At the top of the elevator, I found a beautiful flower field, and here I had a rematch against Lace. She put up a fight, defeating me once, but that was all. I was too strong for her, so she ran away again. Actually, I guess she's just dead. So now there was only one challenge in my way. The final boss, Great Mother Silk, which I could call Radiance 2.0 since she's pretty similar to that one, but she's a great boss fight and has the only attack in both games that deals 3 masks of damage. So I've used everything I learned throughout this journey, and without problem I was able to best her. Hornet then stabs her and starts absorbing her silk and becomes a full starter, which is actually disgusting. With that said, I finished the game and became the new monarch of Farlon. But something didn't seem right. For the whole game, Hornet was kind and helpful, so it makes no sense for the game to end like this. With that said, can you hear it? Let's slow down a little right now, cause at this part of the video I tried to be as fast as I could to match what happened in game, cause I was addicted to Silksong. But after I finished the second act of this game, something happened. I have lost all my will to play the game, and I don't really know why. I have tried to keep playing because I've wanted to see the ending of the Act 3, so I've just searched online how to do it, which totally ruined the fun of figuring that out on my own. But it was pretty simple actually. You just need to do almost every single side quest in the game, and those are really boring, and I was not having fun doing that. But eventually I did, and then I've unlocked a final one, which this guy right here asked me to find 4 things for him, and I don't really know what was. The first 3 were actually really easy, but the last one was hell, because I've had to go through Biowater, which is definitely the worst area in the game. Like, nothing good can come out of this place. And then there's this boss right here, which has everything terrible going on for him. He has a lot of minions that he summons. The floor of his arena is covered with these worms right here, and he himself is so annoying to face. Still, I've defeated him. But then many things happened. I got sick for some time. Nothing serious, but enough to get me down for some days. I got a new job and, well, I just forgot about Silksong. I had no desire to play that game no more. And for some time I've only played competitive video games, which actually makes me more frustrating than anything. But yeah, it was my whole gaming for some time. But then, well, if you're expecting something great and like something meaningful that made me go back to the game, well, there's none. I was just walking back home and I thought, wow, I should really play Silksong again. I've loved that game. I don't know why I've stopped. Then I arrived at home, got the game again, and started playing, just like if nothing has happened. Once again, I'm here. It feels good to be back. And already then, because I'm stubborn, I've decided to face Great Mother Silk again. And I was totally destroyed. Well, it was only a single try, but I was probably not able to beat her after so many months. So, out of free will, I've decided to do something else first. I forgot how good this game actually was. I have to explore many different places, and I think I'd enjoyed every single one of them. I have faced even more bosses than before, but I was liking it. I have enjoyed my return so much that I have even bought a house for me in Belhart. Then I felt ready to rematch Great Mother Silk. The boss fight this time was a whole different story. She had no chance against me, being easily defeated, but instead of Hornet absorbing her, a hole with void tentacles has been opened in the ground, dragging her into the abyss, but Hornet as well also being dragged. Thankfully, out of nowhere, Lace saves us, sacrificing herself, and Hornet happens to only pass out. What may happen to our hero, I wonder? Find out in the next episode of Bug's life. Well, since once again I have ruined all the seriousness of this video, I gotta tell you I really like the fake ending of this game. It's so cool having to smash the void out of the main menu in order to get back to the game. And so then Hornet is falling again, and she gets pretty injured this time. To make things worse, the enemies here were powered by Void, dealing 2 times the damage, throwing globs and spikes made out of Void that also drained my silk. It was quite hard to pass through, but since I was refreshed with the game, I was able to surpass that challenge. Unfortunately, Hornet was not, and she passes out again. But she's saved once again by the best character in the game. Oh, hi Sherma. Well, it turns out that the whole kingdom was also consumed by Void. Every single place was enlaced by Void Silk, which means that the old priest has tricked me. Now, I need to get back to him and start making some questions. In order to do that, I went looking for Ada, but she wasn't there at all. All I found was this. That's an awful design, but the fight is okay, I suppose. It was quite hard. I was being overwhelmed, but then Era! Hello, friend. Let's go. And now she has children. And in gratitude for my rescue, she rewards me with a song that lets me travel to any bell station I want anytime. Well then, I managed to find the old man once again, and I was pretty surprised to see that he and his brothers were actually snails. I thought that one from Hollow Knight was the last one, but turns out there's more than on there. They told me that the reason why the kingdom was covered in void is because the Great Mother Silk is trying to save her child, holding the 2 of them with silk strings which are covered by void and sharing it to the kingdom. So after having to climb all the way up in the first acts of the game, now I will have to descend all the way down to the lowest place possible in order to save that little child. Being a parent must be really hard. In order to do that, I used a diving bell, but there's a catch. This one dived into the freaking lava. And well, I like that. And it was different. It was interesting, to say the least. Anyway, I arrived at the depths of Farlung. This place reminds me a lot of the basin in Hollow Knight, even having the same enemies as that place. I guess they are the only ones that are in both games. Here there's also void dinosaurs. Man, I guess I'm not fighting you then. Eventually, I was able to reach a void lake, where Lace and her mother were at. But I could not get down there yet. Maybe the snails would know how, but still I would have to find a way to go back to the surface. Unfortunately, my way back was broken, so I would need to find another way. Thankfully, after like 5 minutes I was able to do it. I found the last silk ability in the game, which conveniently allows me to shoot a giant silk rope and pull myself across enormous heights, making it the perfect ability to escape that place. However, while I was escaping, some kind of volcanic eruption happened, and it was really one of the best parts in the entire game. It forced me to do platform at high speed so I wouldn't be caught by the lava. It was really tense and really fun. I've liked it. Then I managed to escape and return to the surface, where I talked to the snails again. This time they told me that the only way I could dive into the void was by using the Never Bloom, which could repel the substance. Fun fact, that's the same flower which nullifies the abyss in the first game. How can you nullify something that's literally nothing? I don't know, but it works. However, this flower is extremely rare, though this time it was actually easier to find, since I was not required to deliver it to the other side of the map without taking damage. That quest was a nightmare. Fortunately, Hornet had already found this flower once. Because of that, thanks to the plot, there is a way for Hornet to enter her own memories and bring that flower to reality. Yeah, sure. I totally believe that. In order to do that, the snails teach me one final song that allows me to enter the memories of insects that have already died. Then, that meant I needed to find 3 hearts belonging to the most powerful insects in all Farlung. And that's right, I was about to face one of the hardest challenges in the entire game. Not really actually, but it was fun. The first heart I went after was hidden in yet another forest-like area. Here I met Seth, His design was created by a child who was a huge fan of Hollow Knight, and he unfortunately passed away to cancer. I hope he's in a better place now, but I'm sure he would be incredibly happy to see his character in the game. So thank you, my friend. Know that you created one of the best bosses in the game. Now it's time for the first ancient bug I would have to face. It's not actually a bug this time, it's more like a plant. Nalef has a fine design and keeps herself by the wall, forcing you to dodge while climbing and bouncing on her head. Even though she's unique, Seth is much cooler. After defeating her, I finally obtained the first heart. After that, I decided to try doing some side quests alongside the main ones. That way I could reunite with friends I met in this journey, collect random items, and search for upgrades around the world. I was really enjoying the moment. Eventually, I returned to the main quest. This time, I went to one of the most visually interesting areas in the game. This place is an underwater region, and even though you can't swim, the feeling of being an insect underwater is really cool. Actually, do you know that shrimps are cockroaches from the sea? Yeah, I might have ruined your life. Sorry. Still, there isn't much to explore here, aside from a very fun and challenging combat tower. At the end, I have encountered the King Kong, which is not King Kong. And since the tower was the real test, it was a piece of cake to defeat him. And then I obtained the second heart. For the last one, I went to a secret area. There are some little puzzles to do here, but the area is not threatening. The boss here, unfortunately, was a repeated boss, but it was a little bit different and definitely enjoyable. Defeating him grants me the final heart. Returning once again to the snails, I somehow managed to enter Hornet's memories, being able to visit parts of Hollowness from Hollow Knight, which was so nostalgic. In the end, we obtained the Everboom given by the White Lady, and we can finally go ahead to beat this game for real. After everything I went through, all my problems converged on this moment. Maybe I wasn't ready, but with all the determination in the world, I've decided to face the final challenge to descend into the abyss and rescue Lace. And with the most epic OST playing in the background, I've reached the bottom. But something didn't seem right. It was Lace, now corrupted by Void. So in order to save her, first, I will have to defeat her one last time. Her attacks were complex, dealing 2 masses of damage and draining my silk. She covered the entire arena with Void, making it extremely difficult to dodge her attacks. With each attempt, it felt like I was getting further away from defeating her. But I couldn't give up, not after everything I had been through. So I took a deep breath, and after almost 15 attempts, I was able to finally master and beat Silksong for the first time. That's it, man. Come on. It's done. Oh, it's done. Well, wait. Oh, thank you. It's done. So now you're gonna help me. No. Don't stop, please. Alright. Wait. No, I can't believe it. They did not bring him back. That's so cool. Wow. Farewell, old friend. Man, what a game. What a game. Silksong was definitely an experience that I will never forget. Even though I didn't do everything there was in this game, I'm already satisfied with my journey. This time I managed to do everything I wanted. Today, after months, I finally finished one of the best games of the last year. In the end, what can I say about it? It's a perfect sequel to Hollow Knight, expanding and improving everything from the first game. Even if I can't bring myself to admit that it's better than Hollow Knight, still, Silksong is one of the best games I've ever played. It's definitely a 10 out of 10. A well-deserved second best game of 2025. And that's awesome considering that 2025 was one of the best years for video games, at least in my opinion. Silksong for me is up there with some of the best games of all time. It's actually hard to believe that this game was made by only 3 people. I mean, this game is so well made and those guys took so long to finish it because they were having fun. They also charged only $20 for this game, which is like, you gotta respect that. Now let's talk about what I think of the game itself. Silksong has one of the best art directions I've ever seen. The way they use multiple 2D backgrounds, to make the scenery feel 3D is beautiful. It's just like the first game, but it's even better. It's wonderful. Every single place in this game, you could make a picture of it. And I never once experienced any performance issues or bugs as far as I can remember. Well, there's a lot of bugs, but yeah, I'm talking about the other type of bug, glitches. You got me, right? This game has so much care put into it. Everything here has personality, and it feels like it could really exist. A society of bugs that, well, you could really feel like they are human despite not being. Most of them are likable, but every single one is memorable and are interesting in their own way. Even the way Hornet sits on the bench is already such a nice character trait. There are characters in the game that you can play your needle and they will sing with you. Most of the characters react to what you're doing. The animations both for enemies and allies are so cool and so well made. You can find in the game countless mini events, shooting challenges, a mouth that tries to kiss you for some reason and gets slapped, a creep spying you in the bath who gets slapped, a thief who also gets slapped. You can even gamble in this game. The game though has some flaws, such as the side quests that are generally boring, even though some of them have nice stories to tell. Most of them are not worthwhile. It's like, go there, kill this enemy, get this loot, go back, get the reward. It's just as simple as that. Still, it wasn't really a good reason for me to quit. I just don't know what actually happened. I mean, the only bad thing I can think about this game is that sometimes it can get pretty repetitive. But everything else is almost perfect. Now talking about the gameplay. The movement is awesome. It's way better than in the first Hollow Knight. You are faster, you are more agile. There are more opportunities for you to move around, to fight enemies. The platforming challenges are really good, though there are a lot of them and sometimes they are too close to each other, so it can become quite repetitive, but still they are really good. All the movement tools and abilities you get throughout the game are fun to use. You can also find puzzles in this game, but they are not really the main focus. Still, they are fun to do once in a while. The combat is awesome as well. There are a lot of builds you can make. Every single one of them is viable. You can get new crests for Hornet to change her moveset entirely. There are different tools that you can use. And well, the enemies in the game are great. Every single one of them matches its area. And well, they are fun to fight. There are not many ganks, even though the arenas, I don't find them actually interesting because there are too much of them. Still, they are fine, they are doable. As for single enemies, they are mostly fun to fight. There are some that are stronger, some that are weaker, but every single one is different and they make the world more fun to explore. I guess there's not even a single enemy that I feel like the game would be better without it. But of course, some of them are really irritating. The bosses now, which is probably one of the greatest things Hollow Knight does, and this game also does it pretty well, though Hollow Knight does it better. There are many bosses that I will remember for a long time, such as the Fourth Chorus, the Cogworker Dancers, Throbio, Lace, the Great Mother Silk, and many more. But there are some problems with the boss fights. Most of them are really easy and they only become hard when you add a lot of mobs in it. In general though, they are great. As for the level design now, it's perfect. Every single area is connected and well planned. There's a lot of secret paths you can find, different challenges you can face. There are many environments you can explore. And except for Biowater, I don't think there's any terrible area in the game. In the end, all I can say is that this game is a masterpiece. And that's it. This was my first playthrough of Hollow Knight Silksong. The game is amazing, as I said, but I will not be only making videos about it. So if you have enjoyed my content, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.